I am stressed. You are all probably stressed. We are all stressed and anxious. Yay. But guess what? Instead of me increasing your stress and anxiety, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to teach you a mental hack to decrease these negative emotions. But first, a small challenge. Okay, what do I want you to do? I want you to do something super simple. So simple that you don't even have to get up from your chairs. I want you to watch your breath for 1 minute. What do I mean by this? I mean, I want you to close your eyes, sit up straight, watch your breath, push out all unnecessary thoughts. Watch your breath coming in and out. In, guess what? And out. Okay, we ready? Okay, time starts now. Okay, time's up. How'd you guys do? Were you able to complete the challenge successfully? I appreciate the honesty, thank you. If at any time during this challenge your mind began to wander and you weren't watching your breath, then the challenge wasn't completed successfully. If any of you guys in this room are like me, a pretty average teenager, then about 99.999% of you guys failed this challenge. It was pretty simple though. In the beginning, in the first few seconds, many of your guys' minds began to wander and think about other thoughts. The extra talented group of people in here might have lasted around 5 to 10 seconds before they then too lost their concentration. So, why is our mind like this? How come we failed a challenge that was supposed to be so simple? All we had to do was watch our breath. When we asked our mind to do this, it couldn't even complete that task. The reason I asked you to do this challenge was to show you guys how we don't have control over our own minds. And this is an issue that needs to be discussed. We currently live in a permanent state of stress and anxiety. Nearly 1/3 of American adolescents and adults face these negative emotions on the daily, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. And if we look at teenagers alone, that number is even higher. We currently face stress and anxiety every single day, and it's an pertinent issue that needs to be addressed. But there is a solution to this. A way to rewire your mind so that you can reduce your stress and anxiety and instead of reacting to those situations, respond to them in the correct way and increase your overall happiness. And I'm not here to remove all of your homework as one of your stressors or make standardized tests easier or make that one guy like you or that one girl text you back. But I am here to tell you how to change the way you respond to those stressful and anxiety-ridden situations. But first, let me talk about why we are in this negative state of mind, or as neuroscientists like to call it, a negativity bias. So there are two reasons that we can blame for this. One of them being evolution, the other one being conditioning. So let's talk about evolution first. Evolution, a very real science, is basically saying that our mind was optimized for survival and for procreation. Our brain creates a chemical called dopamine in order for us to seek out pleasure and avoid pain. So let's take a field trip back to the era of the Flintstones, aka cavemen time. Back then, life was pretty dangerous as we were all being hunted by animals who wanted to eat us. I mean, I don't look pretty appetizing, but they still wanted to eat us. And because of this, a part of our brain called the amygdala, which was responsible for detecting these dangerous situations and responding to them accurately, released a response mechanism: freeze, flight, or fight. This response mechanism helped us survive through the ages, and this gene was then passed down through our ancestors and into us as part of natural selection. The issue here is, in modern day, no one is trying to eat us anymore, and we're not in the same life-threatening situations. So this trait is now actually causing us high amounts of stress and anxiety. The thousands of years of modern day cannot compete with the millions of years of evolution working against us. Now, on the other hand, there's conditioning. But what is conditioning? Conditioning is the acquired behavior pattern based on your environment, your parents, your school, your upbringing, religion, cultural values, and more. It's basically, who are we? Our emotions, our thoughts, and our feelings are all based on the electrochemical wiring of our brain, based on the genes and conditioning that we're in. As teenagers, we face so much pressure from our outside environment and so much inner pressure from our hormones. Modern stressors are bothering us every day, from school, parents, to body image issues, to hate crimes, politics, racism, sexism, and so much more. We're constantly bombarded by outer stimulus, which is putting us in a state of never-ending anxiety. And we don't even know how to control our mind in order to accurately respond to those type of situations. For instance, we were born with a negative bias from our evolution, but we weren't born with body image issues which were influenced by the media. We were conditioned by the media to believe a certain body type was the ideal body type. And then because of our innate human need to be accepted, we put ourselves through so much stress and anxiety to reach that type of body. Even though we didn't have to do that, we could have just controlled our mind and rewired ourselves to be happier. But instead, evolution and conditioning put us in default freak-out mode, which is extremely bad for our well-being. So let me provide a brief example to kind of show how our mind works. So let's pretend you were in a car, a Tesla, if you like. The driver of your car is your mind. But in this illusion, you believe that you are the one driving your car. And at first, you believe that you are taking it down the right path, but really, your mind is reacting to different stressful situations or high anxiety situations, and then reacting based on evolution in your conditioning. Now let's add a variable. You have a writing assignment due. I mean, we're all students here. These kind of things happen. We want to go to the writing station to get our writing assignment done. But since we're not in control of our mind and our mind seeks pleasure, it instead is going to go to procrastination station, and as per our reaction, we're going to waste over 3 hours on YouTube. And I'm sure all of you guys do this like me. So now, because of not being in control of your own mind, you're going to have to take the street full of speed bumps and potholes in order to get your writing assignment done on time. Because as per your mind's reaction, you procrastinated. So this sounds like an awful situation. Oh my God, we're stressed, we're anxious, and we don't know how to control it or how to respond to these type of situations. But thanks to the neuroplasticity of our brain, or something known as the ability for our brain to change, we can rewrite the code inside of our mind and decrease the stress and anxiety while increasing our overall happiness through this very powerful tool called meditation. This is an extremely effective tool to use, and it'll help you gain balance and control within your life, both physically and mentally. There are many different types of meditation out there, such as mindfulness, being present fully in the moment, watching your body language or your thoughts across your mind and other body sensations, or using mindfulness-based meditation apps. But we're going to focus on the one that watches your breath, as the breath is the anchor for your meditation. And this is a super simple way to meditate, because your breath is always going to be there for you. Unless you're dead, then I guess you're not really stressed and anxious, so I guess you don't really need that anymore. But that's not the point. We're all alive. So instead, we're going to watch our breath, which will allow us to regain control over our mind. And the breath is a great tool to use because it reflects the state of your mind. If you're anxious, your breathing rate is going to be faster. If you're calm, your breathing rate is going to reciprocate that. But before I get into the technicalities of how to do this kind of meditation, let me talk about the two parts within it: awareness and concentration. First part, awareness, is to be aware that you are not actually in control of your mind. This comes through watching your breath. It's the realization that you're not the one driving your car, but rather your mind is. But now that you're aware of this issue, how do you solve it? Well, this is where concentration comes into light. With concentration, you will be able to steer the wheel of your car in the right direction and take back control of your life. So now you no longer have to react to those stressful and anxious situations, but rather respond to them because you are now in control. So let's talk about some of the benefits. And these are proven by science, like big scientists, so we know they have to be true. So some of the benefits is meditation reduces stress and anxiety, reduces high blood pressure, and decreases the risk for depression, while increasing things like energy, strength, a sense of well-being, a sense of calm and control, and most importantly, happiness. A study done in 2016 by Dr. Richard J. Davidson showed that meditation can change the reaction that you give to emotional cues and stress triggers. He put a group of meditators and non-meditators within a stressful situation. The meditators produced less cortisol, also known as the stress hormone, and said the situation wasn't even stressful. They also completed it a lot more successfully than the group of non-meditators did. A neuroscientist from Harvard Medical School named Sarah Laser actually found that just 8 weeks alone could have some small benefits in her patients. They experienced the thickening of the brain in several areas, such as the left hippocampus, which was involved with much of the memory and emotional cues. Also, the TPJ, which was seen to control the amount of empathy and the ability to look at multiple perspectives, as well as the reduction within the amygdala, which was controlling fear, anxiety, and aggression. This reduction was also correlated with lessened stress reactivity, meaning meditation made people less stressed. And as high school students, I know we could use some of that. Not only that, but this study was further done by Dr. Davidson and Dr. Goleman when they continued the study to find out the more benefits that the amygdala has. Through their research, they noticed the amygdala is tied with the focus and attention, as well as our intense emotional reactions. Through this, they noticed that there was a 50% reduction in amygdala reactivity in people who meditated. And in the people who meditated daily, they noticed less stress reactivity. This study was backed up by one published in the Harvard Gazette. This, by Gail Debordes, showed that just in 8 weeks, her depressed, stressed, and anxious patients actually shown the reduction in the amygdala in her fMRI scans. So if you look toward the fMRI scans, you can actually notice the reduction. This was just in an 8-week period. Imagine if you did this practice in your daily life, the benefits that you could experience would be long-lasting and beneficial for the quality of your life. you would become a happier person with less stress and anxiety. So, how do we do this meditation? How do we reduce our stress and anxiety, hack into our brain, and rewire it to become happier? Well, it's pretty simple. If you think back to the challenge that I gave you earlier, it is just like that. You find a quiet place to sit, somewhere where you won't get disturbed. Either sit crisscross somewhere on the floor or on the edge of a seat. It doesn't matter how. You close your eyes, you sit up straight. Extremely important that you sit up straight so that you don't fall asleep, because high school students, we don't sleep. After that, you're going to close your eyes and watch your breath. Push out all unnecessary thoughts. It doesn't matter who just DM'd you, who just snapped you, the homework assignments you're late on. All that matters is you and watching your breath. Focus on your breath coming in and out. In and out. At first, it might be a little bit hard to keep your attention, as some of you guys might have noticed. But slowly, with more practice, the neuroplasticity of your brain will allow you to strengthen your mind, and you'll be able to focus on your breath for longer periods of time. It's extremely important that when you bring your mind back to your breath, if it wanders, that you don't judge yourself or react or show any anger or frustration. Gently bring your mind back to your breath and watch it come in and out. The more you repeat this process, the stronger your awareness grows. With more awareness, you'll be able to realize that you're not in control and be able to take yourself out of auto-driven mode so that you're no longer sleepwalking through life. And with this stronger amount of awareness, you'll be able to steer your car in the right direction. And your mind is just like a muscle. The more you practice meditation, the stronger you will be, the stronger your concentration will be, and the stronger ability you'll have over your mind, so that you are now in control. You are the master of yourself. So, I've told you about why your mind is like this, in this negative state, and I've told you about how you can change that, how you can hack into your mind, make yourself happier, and reduce your reactions to the stressful and anxious situations you face on a daily life, and rather respond to them. So I've put you on a path to thrive. All you have to do is keep marching along. As Albert Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Validate this and manage this with your own empirical data. May you continue to thrive. Namaste.